Hello, everybody, and welcome to this month's ROTORS. This time, we're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff. Now, it's a bit quiet this time. It's quite nice and peaceful, actually, after last time. It was all a bit hectic. And so, me and Kev to start with, and Patrick, who is who we'll find out a bit more later on. But let's start with the normal intros. Kev, what you been doing, matey?
This week, I've mostly been trying to rid the world of aligned T-Rexes. again. Oh, it's my favourite pastime, isn't it? I love it. Just recently, I've been doing a lot of setting up for club mates. Beginners are just getting into it, or semi-experienced, they're just new helis or having problems with setup stuff. I've just been doing a lot of setups, and yeah, must have done 7, 8 in the last 2 weeks or something like that. It's love it. I love doing the setups and stuff, and it's good to see the results. They're all pleased with the way it's flying and everything. But unfortunately, my helis have been neglected for a bit, so I need to start giving them some love.
No, I think I've spotted a problem with your flying field. Now, having been there, I know that you have a container on site.
We do.
With like a window and like a heater.
Yes.
And chargers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
all this setup you've been doing, has
Yes.
it by chance been inside this nice warm container?
No, it's been at home.
Oh, it's been at home.
Yeah, it's been at home. Yeah. No, I have done a little bit in the container. Don't get me wrong, because it's what it's there for. It's there to keep warm when it's freezing cold. Yeah, freezing cold and foggy.
Soft northerner.
I'll tell you what. It was that cold and that horrible at weekend. It was like that. That's where I got that picture from. So, no.
How much of that is nitro smoke? And how much of that is mist?
I would say a good 60% of that is Magnum 20%, and some of that is fog. But yeah, no, it's love it. I mean, flying in the fog, it's just one of these things that you need to do, especially with the nitro. It's just so cool. I mean, I was there. That was the first flight of the day, and I was like messing around, and I thought, this looks absolutely friggin' awesome. So I shouted Steve over, come on, over here and take a picture quick. So no, it is pretty cool. I mean, it was like that till about 1 o'clock, something like that. Really foggy and a bit dank, but no, it was pretty cool to fly in, and did clear up towards the end of the day, but. One thing, you wouldn't have seen it when you were in there before. Bear with me. We've got like a half oil drum cut out for like barbecues and stuff, but we're now using that for heating. So that's in the pits area, full of wood and big flames coming out of it. That's quite good. So
that's very civilized.
Oh yeah. We even have a McDonald's run as well. I haven't had it for a while, like, because no one's been bothered to go. But normally it was like we all chip in and someone will go McDonald's. It's only round the corner, so that's very civilized.
I can beat the McDonald's run.
Go on.
I'm pleased to say the end of flying day beer has been resurrected.
Yes. I used to love the end of day beer when I was racing cars.
It's amazing because the trouble is that down here now there isn't really much club action going on. There's a couple of clubs going around, but they're pretty fragmented, and you never get more than a few people in the same place at the same time, and they're all living in different directions to each other. So it's actually quite difficult to pin them down and say, "Come on, let's go for a pint."
Mm.
Because I'm not alcoholic or anything.
Yeah.
It is coffee, I promise. It is coffee.
Last time I looked, that was Jameson's in there.
No.
Straight out of the bottle.
No, you're confusing me with a different person. I'm a Stella drinker, thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
I I have been known to have a mug of Stella during the show, but no, this is coffee because I'm on call. I have to be able to go drive, so can't have.
You can have one.
Yeah, well, that's the trouble. I have my beer with dinner.
All right, I'll put it in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
no, it's very civilised down at South Cheshire Athletics. No, what else have I been doing? Goblin 380. Goblin 380.
God, it took you a whole six and
Goblin
a half
380.
minutes to mention the Goblin 380.
Have I shown you my Goblin 380? Look.
No, you haven't. You haven't shown us the Goblin 380 at all yet. It's like
There we go.
There's not even been any teaser pictures, really. You've
Have
been
there
very
not?
slacking. Yeah, no, you've been slacking well and truly
Alright.
on that front. Yeah. And you promised me once you built it, you'd come down, you'd spend the weekend down here, and go flying with it.
Well, that is still going to happen. I've just been trying to get it set up right. I'll be honest, I was struggling a little bit with the setup on it. I think it's probably my build skills and lack of therein. There we go. Nice hoofing great X Nova motor. I've never seen such a big motor on a 450 in my life.
That's one of the things, though, isn't it? I mean, looking at some of the pictures, it is quite a large 450, isn't it? It's more of a. It's about. Is it about? Would you say it's about? If you put them next to each other, you put a 450 next to the 380, and then next to say like an Align 500.
I can
like
rectify. I can rectify that problem now. If you just bear with me, I have comparison pictures.
I'm getting quite good at this gap filling, Lark. It's quite good.
Yeah. Just fill them in it.
Yeah.
So excuse me.
So what we're saying is that it's kind of it is a big 450, but it's probably about halfway between the two. Do you reckon between a 450 and 500?
No, it's about a third of the way to a 500.
Yeah, the 500 was 430 mil blades, and the 450 325.
Right, there we go. That's a T-Rex 450 Pro next to the 380. It's a good chunk bigger, but going towards a T-Rex 500, it's not that much bigger. I have got another one here comparing it to a Goblin 500 as well. Let me just right in the old system there. I should have been more prepared. There we go. That's the Goblin 500, Goblin 380, and T-Rex 450. You see, it's quite a lot smaller than the Goblin 500.
Yeah.
But again, it's quite.
But the Goblin 500 is
a proper 500.
Yeah, it's a 500 mil blade, not a 430. So it's probably the same again, bigger than it's the next size up, isn't it, from an Align 500?
Yeah,
Interesting bit of kit. No, I think because I've been sort of part wondering because I've got quite a big back garden, and I've been thinking, I have had the 500 inverted and a couple of TikToks in the back garden. Bearing in mind that my back garden is massive, and there are no houses either side of my back garden. It's open space. It's actually scrubland because they're going to start building either side of us at some point in the future. So, actually, there's horses on one side. Yeah, no, we don't live in the country. We have horses on one side of us. We did have a visit, but anyway. So my back garden is big. It's massive, and I'm thinking, I could quite fancy having something small enough to find the back garden. But I think the 380 would definitely be too big, and I think even a 450 would be too big. But then we're getting down into the bind and fly stuff. But yeah, I mean, I like the 380. I think it would be. It's still early days. I think there's a lot of. There's a lot of information out there about saying that you need massive speed controllers for it. What's all that about, Kev?
Well, speaking to SAB, Bert, Carl Stacey, and everyone, they're saying 70 amp, something like that. Contronic Kobe 70 or similar size. So say you've got the Edgelight 75, haven't you? Edgelight 100, Edgelight 100, which is about £5 more and just a little bit a smidgen bigger. But I've actually shoehorned a Talon 90 in there. Don't know if you can see that very well. That's a Talon 90 with all the plastic guff removed.
Okay.
Ignore the hot glue there. I'm going to sort that with either some shoe goo or something. That's just to stop the power caps flobbing about and coming off. But the beauty with the Talon is it's got a 20 amp back.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're running decent servos in it.
Yeah, if you're running decent high quality digital servos and you're using an Edge Lite which has only got a 5 amp back, I mean, yeah, 5 amp back should be perfectly fine, but there's no headroom. I mean, I'm running 20 amp backs on all my helis above my 570. 570 is running a 10 amp back, and anything bigger than that is running a 20 amp back. So it's one of them. It's what you do. I mean, I'm not really pushing the servos, but you know, it's good to have the headroom there.
Yeah.
Just in case you do go sick and you start trying to do some hyper TikToks and stuff.
Just sort of for comparison, so what typical sort of battery and speed controller do you use in a 6S 450?
6S, yeah, a 2X456S, I believe, is a 55 amp speed controller, which has got a 3 amp back. That runs on 1400 6S.
And what are you running in the 380?
This I'm running 1800 6S, but it will take up to 2600, or whichever fits, whatever fits in the hole, pretty much. And I'm running the 90 amp with this U-Finger 8 X-Nova Tarek motor. So, I mean, I've actually got two X-Nova motors for it. I've got the 2218, which is the slightly smaller one, and I've got the Tarek as well. So I've pretty much done the review on the 2218. Now the Tarek's gone in, and
does it have plenty of beans?
It has more beans than Heinz.
That's a lot of beans.
That's a lot of beans. No, it is really pokey. But I've been playing with the setups a little bit, and it's just not flown goblin like, if you know what I mean. It's flown alright, but it's not flown like a goblin. I mean,
you say you're struggling to get it dialed in?
Not so much dialed in, because it was doing everything that I wanted it to do. It just didn't feel as accurate as I would like. I mean, you've flown my 570, and the 570 is, you point at it, goes.
Yeah. To a point. Unless the blades you've got on the 570 are quite light, and I did find that pushing it really hard in sort of backwards inverted, it could pull in on you. It could retreat your install. But I mean, other than that, it was,
yeah. In general, it is point and it goes. I'm just not quite getting that yet with the 380. However, I think I found the problem. The SAB servo horns are a little bit too deep to the tune of about 0.5 mil. So the servo horns are just catching the case.
Oh.
Yes. So out comes my little points file. Take a little bit off the back of the servo horns, and they're all free as a bird now. So I need to get out and try it again now. So hopefully it should be alright. The reason I came across it actually is one of my other club mates. He's got a 380 as well, Andrew Bays, top guy. I made a diss for him on Sunday. And it was like, right, it's the same. It's got exactly the same as mine, same motor, same servos, same fire ballast, same everything. yours flies better than mine.
Hmm.
Why? So I was having a quick prod and poke, and I'm thinking, your servos are free as a bird, and mine are quite stiff. So I went into it, and yeah, it seems to be that. I mean, it might just be something I've just overlooked in the build, but no, I'll sort it. I'll
Cool.
sort it.
But,
It's
and
easy
there's
enough.
nothing better than finding that thing that you're 95% sure that that's the problem. That sort of, we all have those. But I'm
Yeah,
very conscious of the fact that we've had Patrick sat here for
yeah.
16 minutes now. And
Okay.
Yes.
hello, Patrick. Who are you?
Hello.
Where are you from? What do you do? And what is that awesome piece of equipment you've got set in the background?
Yeah, my name is Patrick, and I'm from Austria. I fly helis for a year now, not more.
Mm-hmm.
And the awesome thing there is my electric guitar. But that has nothing to do with helicopters.
So, what do you fly then in general?
Yeah, in general, I fly my Blade 600X, so the Pro Series, and I recently got a 550X, and I also have a T-Rex 500, which fits in a use 500D scale fuselage, which is lots of fun to fly actually, but it's some kind of yeah different to the 600 size 3D meshing.
Yeah, it's nice to have something a bit different to fly sometimes. I'm
Totally,
a
yeah.
bit I'm a bit partial to a bit of soap story myself rather than scale, but it's nice to have a bit of a cruise around sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
No. So what else have you been up to in terms? I mean, could you tell me a bit about simulators?
Yeah, recently I was asked to join the beta team from Accuracy, which brought me to the stream or the hangout today. And over the last, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks, I tested 2 different simulators. So I went between Accuracy and the next simulator, and yeah, I did some experiments with it in case of realism, different parts and tweakables inside the system itself, and yeah, how to get the sim as realistic as possible most of the time.
Hmm. I was actually having a natter with a Paul from Skyline earlier on this afternoon, and sort of, and we sort of some of the feedback that he's getting. So, yeah, he obviously works at Skyline Models, who sell the simulator, and sort of some of the feedback he's getting is that people are struggling with the complexity of the setup, shall we say. But sort of having talked to a few people myself who've sort of been having issues, I'm not so sure that it's actually an issue with the complexity, but more the philosophy. Do you see where I'm going with that? Because
Yeah, yeah, totally. I understand that part. It's for most people. It's I get a sim and I plug my transmitter in and I press and fly, and then I want the thing to fly, and I want it to fly like a 3D machine and not like a sports machine or anything else, and I don't want to have to tweak it the way I want it to.
yeah, and I think the way in the method in which you tweak the model to fly like your own is very different on accuracy compared to other simulators. Because
Yeah, yeah,
I think on other simulators you're trying to tweak it to make the physics work properly. So you're making the model a bit heavier to artificially kind of
yeah. For example,
nudge the physics in the right direction to make it fly like your model. Whereas I think with accuracy, it's much more like you're choosing the right components and the right
yeah.
amount of expo, and if you treat it like your own model, so you go, oh, let's just give it full pitch and see how quickly it climbs, and go, well, yeah, no, I think I want a bit more pitch than that, so you dial in a bit more pitch,
Yeah,
and the same thing with the cyclics. Are the cyclics quick enough? No, they're a bit slow. Okay, well, I'll up the agility a bit then. And the stops are a bit squidgy. Okay, I'll up the gain a bit then. So it's kind of it's much. I think it's much closer to um, setting up your own
yeah.
model
I totally
if,
agree.
if,
Yeah.
if you use that philosophy. I think.
Yeah, totally. I mean, before the hangout today, I put out my transmitter again and tested both simulators for about 15 minutes just to get sure what to think about, and if I don't want to talk bad or so about the next simulator. I totally love it for its reasons, but I just realized that when I wanted to turn more quickly, I just increased the roll rate, and that's it. And if I wanted to be a bit heavier or so, you just click on it. And in accuracy, if I wanted to behave a little bit different, even changing the blades could be the answer to everything.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. Is that because the realism of the simulation is that much better, you're changing things and to in the same way that you would change them on your real model. So if you don't like if the blades feel a bit funny, or that you get a bit, if they feel a bit sort of bit too active, or a bit slow, or a bit loady, you don't go into, you don't sort of open up a computer console and go, right, I want my blades to be 10 grams lighter, please, do you? you go and spend
totally.
60 quid on a different set of blades.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I experienced that because on my DX9 I used three throttle curves just to have some variation in the sim. And if I see, oh, there is just too much head speed or a little bit too less, I just go into the transmitter and put it up a little, just as I would do on my real heli. Or yeah, if I go crazy, I change the motor, but you can't do that on the flying field in normal. So just changing everything in the transmitter is just the right choice, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, I try and keep everything off the transmitter as much as possible. I use the governor screen to change the idle up modes and stuff, which is quite nice. It's and I think in 1.5, I think there is adjustable governor head speed stuff coming as well. I think. Did I read that somewhere?
Okay, I'm looking forward to it at least. I heard lots of rumors about the 1.5 update, but haven't been able to test it yet.
No, I know it's they're taking their time in getting it right. I believe they've. I did not go round to Ash's house at all at any point in history, and I haven't played on a fixed wing at all on it, Gav.
Yeah.
And I can't possibly comment on how good it was.
Yeah. As I said, I don't know. I mean, I love also flying fixed wings because I started with fixed wings when I was 6 years old or so, and I'm used to it like every day. And I have fly some Catena or even gliders with 3 meters plus wingspan. So I'm really looking forward to it because I'm very, very keen to know what they do with the fixed wing. Just after I've seen what they can do with the helicopter with that real-time physics calculation, which is an extremely intense thing, gets it real close.
It's sorry to talk about fixed wing stuff, guys. Those that watching, I know we're a helicopter show, but it's kind of. I think we all fly a bit of everything. I think, Kev, you've got a fixed wing floating around there somewhere, haven't you?
Sorry?
Yeah, I've got a few hiding for me since. Yes.
Yeah, you've got to break them out sometimes. It's always nice to have a bit of a change.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, if I just want to relax, I'll just either just tit about with the quad or get a fixed thing out or something, just have a chill out. Flying 3D all the while is all well and good, and it's all well and good having a laugh with your mates and everything, but there are times when you just go with a club and you just think, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. I just want to chill. I mean,
it's been quite funny actually. Sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm just gonna say, in summer I can probably bang out 25, 30 flights a day, easy. That's easy. But right recently I've been down 3 or 4, just chilling out. So.
Just gonna mute him for a second, just while he gets himself sorted.
Yep.
It's been quite funny actually. The couple of local guys have just gone out and bought sort of fixed wing phones from that place.
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was a Radjet. Now, the trouble is that when people tend to go out and buy this sort of stuff, that would be me making a mess. I've known everyone's done it, and everyone's seen somebody at the club do it. They go and buy something that's made of foam, and then they go and try and go and make it as fast as possible. And it's been quite amusing, actually, because anytime it gets anywhere near full throttle, the thing just explodes, or just goes in some weird and wonderful direction and explodes when it hits the ground. Poor bloke. He's getting a bit disheartened, this poor Jay. This is Jay the Potty Mouth cameraman, by the way.
Potty Mouth Jay?
Yeah, Potty Mouth Jay. And it's been quite amusing, but he's been getting a bit disheartened with it all, so I'm trying to find him something that is either not foam but still reasonably durable that he can go fast with, or something that is going to be easier to repair, because the Radjet, you can't actually buy the foam only, you have to buy the whole kit with all the electronics in it.
Right.
And that gets a bit expensive.
I has a suggestion.
Ah.
How is he? Is he receptive to EDF jets?
Yes.
Go on, Hobby King, and pick up either a Vampire or a Sea Vixen. They come as a almost ready to fly with servos, ESC motor, fan unit, and everything. All you've got to add is a receiver, and they're about 90 quid, and they fly friggin' awesome.
So what's that? Sea Vixen?
A Sea Vixen or a Vampire. And you can buy just the airframes, and you can buy spares for them.
Okay. I know you can get the airframe for the Radjet, but it's only available from the international warehouse, and they want something ridiculous like 60 quid postage or something. Nuts.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that can be a problem sometimes. But no, Hobby King, you can buy the parts for these, and it's all in stock in the UK as well. I've got a Vampire, and I love it. I keep burying it, but I love it.
Well, that's the thing. It's a case of like, because at the moment it's just like he's got two of the damn things, and he just keeps taping them back together. They keep getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and floppier and floppier and floppier, and just even close. I mean, like literally, you could always guarantee like you'll be flying. We were up the slope the other day up at Windree, and we were flying off of one of the off slopes, and he was zooming this thing around, and pretty much every time he got on the throttle. When he was just cruising around, it was fine. But anytime he got on the throttle fully, you could just hear it go, and it just start doing something really strange. And a couple of times it went, and it's sort of.
That sounds like too much power, at least.
Yes, he's definitely suffering from too much power.
Too much power, enough prop.
Yeah.
I've seen just in the Q&A section that Graham Laurie is asking a friend of mine has just crashed his Goblin 380, I guess, and he finds it hard to get spare parts. What are your thoughts on that, Kev? Do you have problems?
Yeah, I'd actually seen that. I was just waiting for a gap in the conversation to get through. To get through on that one. But no, Graham. Skyline models, they've got a full stock of them now of the parts. Fast Lads, they're the importer. They've got pretty much everything now. There shouldn't be a lack of spares anymore. There was when it first came out the first week, just while the spares were catching up with the kits. But no, they're getting there now. They're getting there. There's nice stocks coming in now. So, but I think the only thing that isn't available, I think at the minute, is the quick release. So the quick connect tray kits. I think they've all sold out the first batch, which I'm gutted because I went with them. Which, if you've not seen it, it's actually quite a good little thing. It's you mount your battery onto the tray, and it's got a little connect on the back of the tray, and you've got a little connect in your heli. You just put your battery in, done. That's it, done. It all starts up and loads up and fly. That's it. Really, really good idea. I
They've
don't know
got
why.
quite a nice little animation, haven't they? Going on.
Yes.
There's a nice 3D animation showing it, and it's literally like you got basically kind of like an EC5 connector, sort of
Yeah.
glued, with a fancy bit of plastic. So you've got the contact sort of attached to a bit of plastic, which is attached to the battery tray, and the same arrangement, but the other end obviously in the model. And it just, when you slide it in, it just clicks in and clicks into the connector. And it's just like, that's really cool.
Yes.
Why has it taken this long for someone to do that?
Yeah. I think the thing is, it's just because of the currents. The currents involved. Obviously, a 380 is not drawing that much current, so I'm using EC3s on mine, so it's not too high a current. I think if it does take off, excuse the pun, on the 380, I think Goblin are going to roll it out across the range, because it is a cracking idea. It is a good idea. So, So yeah, when I get that, that should be going in the review pot as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, going to back to what Brian was saying, the spares availability for a new model is always going to be, most of the time, unless you're talking about one of the really big kind of manufacturers, is always going to be a little bit tricky, and some of them never kind of get it sorted.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Just had to mute you, Phil, because you've got hell of a feedback. If you can hear us.
So I'm interested to get my hands on that little 380. Definitely, something I'm definitely interested in having a play with.
Well, hopefully, if I've got it flying all right Saturday and on your free Sunday, I'll try and get down this Sunday.
Yeah, it should be around, I think.
And hopefully,
I'll check the calendar, but I think I'm around.
One question left, Kev. What do you think about the landing gear and those back parts kits? I'd say
the old chicken wings at the back.
Yeah.
The jury is out. It's not very stable on the ground at all. It really isn't, especially if you're flying off a grass field. Coming into when you come into land, you've got to try and make sure you get it on a level piece, or it can get a bit funky. You're trying to stop it tipping over while it's spiraling down. I don't know. I don't like it on the Goblin Speed neither, because Goblin Speed's got a similar arrangement, but it's a bit sturdier. I mean, one of the problems I had when I was setting it up as well, because I used the Soko heli gauge, because they are quite. Let's get it on again. Because it is quite flexible. I mean, I don't know if you can see there. It is really flexible. I mean, which would be good. It's not going to break in a crash. It's going to take a hell of a lot to break that. Unfortunately, when you're trying to set the heli up and you want it super stable on the bench, it doesn't really help. It's just sort of wobbling all over the place and giving you false readings and stuff. So, I think that's just the style that they've gone for, and it's one of them I might just have to live with. But I think if somebody does come out with a more stable alternative, I'll probably change it. It's just a little bit too wobbly for me.
I've seen lots of tuning parts for the Blade 180 CFX with those chicken wings, as you call it, and the big problem is just that they are already small, and on a 180, on a micro-sized heli, I think, am I even able to land this thing at all?
Yeah, well, that's it, see.
Is it a width issue, or is it just a...
It's the 3-point issue. I mean, when you've got a normal set of skids, so the Goblin skids, or just a normal hoop and pipe arrangement,
you've got your two lines.
You've got a big square. You've got a big stable point down. This you've got 2 points at the back and 2 points dead close at the front. Essentially, it's tricycle again. So
It's
you're
the
like,
Robin Reliant issue, isn't it?
yeah,
If anyone's ever watched the episode of Top Gear with Clarkson in the Robin
yeah,
Reliant, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, stiffing it up for fun. I mean, a tricycle on a plane, it is not a problem on a plane because they're nice and big and wide. A little tiny heli like this, no, I'm not convinced. Not convinced at all. But no, it's getting a proper review. We're gonna go through everything and give everything a fair try. So
Just
I'll be there.
maybe just a little stick on the front just to make it a little bit wider on the front end, possibly.
I'll dig a mini hula hoop out and pretend I'm a mini dragon. Pretend I'm big again. So,
Oh, dear.
but yeah, no, well, yeah, it's a good alley. You know, I haven't got a bad word to say about it yet. We'll just we'll get there.
Right, I have a question from somebody who's not that far away from where I am currently at the moment. Little Joshy upstairs. He's supposed to be going to sleep. Yeah, he says, if I was to pick a good cheap helicopter, what one would be the best for a child like me? Now he's 10, going on 16.
Yeah.
What do you reckon is a good little buy for a kid like him? If he was going to ask for it for his birthday or Christmas or something, what do you reckon, guys?
Complete novice, I would say Blade 120 SRX fixed pitch to start with. Get used to all the controls. It's a full 6-channel job, isn't it? So get used to all the controls, and if you likes it, then progress on to collective pitch stuff.
See, I would personally say he should be flying this more.
Well, I've got one of them. It's in a field somewhere in Cheshire. I lost it. Yeah, I lost orientation of it and it's gone. So it's out there. If you find it, it's yours. I can't find it.
In my opinion, to be honest, I started with this little boy here, which is a X100 collective pitch already.
Oh, the X100.
I flew with it about a month or so, and then it got boring a little outside in the field, and then I just went straight to the 500 class and got a Blade 500 3D, which was just perfect, I have to say. So it came ready to fly with the transmitter, everything set up very good. So I checked over the helicopter with my dad, who flies helicopter since, don't know, 15 years now or so. And even he was surprised that a heli which came out of the box in that size wasn't that good conditions. So
cool. So what we're saying is that Gary X5 that's behind you that you're doing nothing with, just give him that.
Yeah. Yeah. Josh, you've got a perfectly good simulator set here that you can use any time you want, more or less, as long as your room's tidy and you've done all your jobs. And there's 2 quads sitting here actually. There's the big one here, which is the which one's this one? I can't remember which one it is now. It's the
Hubsan X4.
Yes, Hubsan. Thank you, Hubsan X4. And he also has his own, which I think is set up in this box, just there, in that box, which is the little one, the Q4.
Yes,
That's an awesome bit of kit. That is. It's great fun.
Yeah, no, they are quite good. I mean, my little Hubsan was good. It's just a bit of a giggle, but it's gone. I've still got the controller.
Oh yeah. Top tip for those that have got an X4. Sorry, not an X4. The X4 and the Q4, because the Q4 comes with that tiny, stupid little transmitter, which is great if you're 10. Not so great if you're 35.
With big hands.
With big hands, yeah. So you can use the X4 transmitter on the Q4 because it binds on switch on.
Yeah, they do.
They bind on switch on, so you can switch it on. Also, I've got a funny feeling that if you were to switch your transmitter on, if you had like a couple of you down the flying drill or something, or the local indoor club, you could, if you switch your transmitter on at just the right time when somebody else is switching their transmitter on, so you just flick it on just before they do. You may be able to take over their comm. I think. I haven't tried. In theory, it should work. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Not that we will condone such behaviour in any way, shape, or form. No.
No, that sounds like way too much fun.
It does. We have the fun police on us.
Right. Anyway, moving on. Phil, are you there? Sorry it's taken so long to come to you. We've kind of been nattering, and sorry,
Yes.
got a bit carried away.
Sorry.
Phil, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
How are you
Morning.
doing, Phil?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, matey.
Good,
Cool.
good.
What have you been up to, mate? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What, flying wise or work wise or just life in general?
Let's start with flying first, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I suppose I've been attempting to fly for the last about 15 years. Then married, divorced, and then I've took up flying again about 5 years ago. Wouldn't say I was great. I'm a trier more than anything. I end up probably repairing more than I fly.
We all do that, mate. We all do an awful lot of repairing. If you're not crashing, you're not trying hard enough.
I probably enjoy the building more than I actually do the flying at the moment with this weather.
Yeah, no, you do kind of have to kind of take the flying when you can these days, don't you? With the weather the way it is at the moment, it's a bit gnarly. Well, down here it is anyway. But
Lovely up north. What's up with you?
Big picture again.
No, ridding the world of T-Rexes one at a time. Woohoo!
yeah, but you're right. You keep fixing it, so then it comes back. So you're not actually ridding the world of T-Rexes at all.
Unfortunately, it does actually fly bloody awesome.
So Phil, whereabouts are you from, matey? Where do you fly?
Carlton and Lindrick near Workshop, and I fly at North Notts Model Flying Club.
North Notts. Have they
Yes.
still got that massive, great big field in the middle of nowhere on top of a bit of a hill?
Yeah, surrounded by sheep.
Yes. They did back in the day. Oh God, well that must have been 8-10 years ago. They did. Was it Clubman? Yes, it was. It was Clubman. Clubman 3D. They did a few competitions up there, one after the other.
Yeah,
And
they had a show or two last year. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't been up there recently, but it was a beautiful flying site and loads of fun as well. We had way too much beer in the evenings, and yeah, no, that was a good laugh. I enjoyed those days. I think I remember going up with a friend actually. We took his caravan up, and the trouble was it was one of those caravans that wobbles if you do more than about 58 miles an hour. And that was a bit of a scary, slow trip all the way from Bournemouth. That took a long time to get up there. That's not far from your neck of the woods, is it, Kev?
Notts? Oh, it's miles away from me. Notts. It's a good 2 hours to me.
It's round the corner then.
Yes. Oh, I'm over there. Notts is over there.
It's your end of the country. It's
Just
it's up north.
Just because if you fall out of bed, you end up in the English Channel. That's not my fault, is it? So.
Yes, I fall out of bed, down a cliff, and into the sea. You're right. Fly the beach.
Yes.
I did a bit of sunbathing on the way down.
That doesn't surprise me.
So, what models do you fly?
At the moment, I've got a Goblin 500 and a couple of 600 Nitros, and an old Blade 130 that sort of like never has flown since I've had it.
They didn't
That's
fly out the
normal for all blades. That's all 130s.
Yeah, none of them. Hang on, what was it? I flew Pete Gray's T-Rex Pedro's. I can't remember what it was. Was it an MSR or was it? I can't remember what it was. It was a little thing, and it was a bit evil, but still quite good fun at the same time for some completely kind of bizarre, self-harming kind of way. It's one of those horrible things that you don't. It's just horrible to fly, but at the same time, it's really good fun as well. You just can't. You just don't quite fathom why.
Probably an MCPX or something, was it?
Possibly. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
it had linear servos. Does that help?
Yes, it's probably MCPX then.
Okay.
I think the 180, 130 had them as well, but I can't remember. I never had a 130. I had a Nano. That was all right. It was good fun in its own little shit way. It was indestructible
Language,
though.
Timothy. Link language, Timothy.
It was indestructible though. I've pedal flipped it into the deck from about 1,000 feet and you just pick it up and carry on. It's great. Can't do that with the T-Rex 700. You don't like it.
No.
Stuff
No.
bends and blows up and stuff. So.
So, how's North Knots Club these days? Is it nice and healthy? Lots of members? Phil?
You what, mate?
Is it how's the North Knots Club? Has it got lots of members? And
So, mate, you keep breaking up a little bit, unless it's my end.
it's the North Knots Club.
Yeah.
Has it got lots of members still? Is it a nice big club? Nice
Yeah,
active.
it's quite big. I said. I mean, you've got quite a few members. You've got like Jason Platts, who's like the secretary. So, and say I think we're full up at the moment.
Cool. That's good. That's good. I mean, down here, it's we've got a couple of little clubs, but I'm not a big fan of the flying sites. So it's kind of like I kind of do my own thing with a couple of the other people flying in sort of approved parks and stuff. So it's sort of I've lost that kind of big club that we used to have Dorset Model Helicopter Club down here, and it was about 60 members, and so we kind of don't have that big club feel anymore. Which I'm kind of missing that community a little bit.
I don't think we're doing too bad, but it's a shame when clubs sort of like do fall down. Like, I mean, the Eagles just basically gave up, didn't he? So this month, which is a shame for any club, especially when you're trying to get people into the hobby.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot harder to keep them in, get them in the hobby, and also sort of make sure that they find their way and sort of fly safely. I mean, it's so easy now to buy a model and just go down the local park and go and fly it, and not really know what you're doing, and just have that kind of because it's not their fault that they don't know what they're doing. But at some point someone's going to get hurt, and and that's one of the things that we try and encourage people on rotors. Is trying to find a local club or a group of people to fly with that can help you get the model set up and learn to fly and help guide you in the right direction with the safety and that sort of thing. Yeah. But it's good to see that there are still big clubs around, and still going strong. It's now, how many members has South Cheshire got, Kev?
South Cheshire is about 30, I think, at the minute. We're nowhere near full. I mean, any given day, I think max will probably get down in one day is like 10, something like that. I mean, the other club I'm a member of, Crew Club, they're 80 odd members, but again, you'd only ever get 10 down. But you can't beat the, like you say, the camaraderie and the having a laugh and the bouncing off people and burning off people and stuff. You just can't beat that. I mean, I think we've said it before, but if anyone's watching this and they haven't got a club and they are struggling and they don't know who to turn to, you're quite welcome to come to myself or to Aid, fly with us, and we'll help you. It's not a problem. Just come, give us a bell, and we'll help you out. It's not a problem.
Yeah, there's also we've got a community on Google Plus, the Rotors community on Google Plus, which we're sort of in the process of building up. So if you've got any problems or any questions, just pop them in there, and we'll answer them as and when. I know I've got it on my mobile, so if I've got a spare couple of minutes, I shall answer as best I can in that time. But moving on.
Our man in the sun.
Our man in the sun, the person we love to hate because it is always flying weather. Lee.
Having said that, it looks cold.
He's wearing a fleece. He's wearing a hoodie. What's that?
That's a big pullover, that, Lee.
Well, yeah. Yesterday was blowing 50 knots, so.
Time to go slope soaring then.
not really flying with it.
It's time to go slope something. That's perfect. Oh, that's big mouldy, loaded up with lead weather. That is.
Yeah,
That's when big mouldy start to become fun off big mountains. It's great fun.
it's been like that all this week, which has meant I've had a lot of work, which is good. But
Yes, of course. When it's windy, you work, don't you?
that's it. Yeah.
Just for people that don't know, what do you do for a living? Just so they can hate you even more.
I'm a kite surfer.
You're a kite surfer. So you teach people to fly kites in surf with surf.
Yeah, I teach people to surf. So,
I could just feel the absolute kind of hate, and I just cannot think of any job worse than going surfing and flying kites all day.
well, it's nice in the summer. But, at the moment, it's pretty chilly, and it was raining today. So when you're standing on a freezing cold beach in the rain for 3 hours watching somebody drowning themselves, it's not quite as fun as it seems.
So just for reference purposes, what do you class as freezing cold in Spain?
I don't know. What was it today? It was about 11 degrees.
Positively Baltic.
Yeah, no, I'm still struggling to have any sympathy for you at all. Have you got any flying done at all?
Well, my goblin and my warp are still on a hiatus. They're sitting in a cupboard until I can afford to fix them.
Goblin to 1,000 pieces, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it got away pretty lightly, but the tail boom snapped in half, the blades broke, and a few other bits and bobs. But yeah, unfortunately, life has had to come first at the moment, and once I start working properly again, then I'll get it back together.
Hang on a minute. There's something other than RC helis in this world. What's up with it?
There's a thing called making money.
Oh, that's where I'm going wrong.
Spending on helis.
Yeah. But I'm hoping that warp should be up and running again soon. It's definitely going to be before the goblin anyway, so I'm hoping maybe in a few weeks that'll be up and going. But I've been busy building those that shall not be named, the multi-rotors. I've built I think 4 or 5 now for other people.
So have you got a group together to do some nice sort of to get some sort of group racing going yet?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. We've got 4 people in town now that have got quads built by me, so I can build theirs a bit slower than mine. So that makes it easier to win the races.
You'll love this. How about this for slickness, right? Which brings us nicely onto a question from Graham Laurie. Look at that.
Hey, Graham.
Almost professional. Look at that.
I know. Yeah, almost.
So quad racing is becoming fairly popular. I know Lee has got one and building some. Yep, he is. Lots of them. In that lovely 11 degrees centigrade weather.
Yes.
Right there. And have anybody else taken the dip yet?
No.
No.
There are people at my club that have got them. Tim Critchley, the club boss, owner, chief whip, well, you want to call him. He's got one. He's getting into it. And who else has got? Roy Blackburn's got one, and Gareth he's got one as well. It's just one of them. It just doesn't.
Have you had a fly of one FPV yet?
No.
No.
Oh, tell a lie. My Hubsan was FPV. But again, that's in a field over there somewhere.
But
I've not seen it for 6 weeks. It's gone.
I've tried it. I've flown a Zaggy FPV or derivative thereof, and I've flown a couple of flame wheels, possibly. I can't remember.
Red and white. things with spinning things on.
hexacopter, but it was it had the NASA was in GPS mode, and I've never flown anything in manual. I'm not flown a quad in manual FPV yet. It's something that I want to have a go at before I go and lay out the cash, because I know that because there's a few things that concern me personally is the motion sickness, because I do get motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, for instance, if I'm in a car, I can't look at my phone when I'm as a passenger. Obviously, not when I'm driving, because that's silly.
That's illegal.
And illegal, that too. But it's also, most importantly, it's stupid. But yeah, anyway. So, I can't sit in the car as a passenger and read my phone without within 3 or 4 minutes. I'm starting to feel a bit ooh. And if I don't stop, then I will be sick. But it comes on quick enough that I can, or slow enough that I can stop it. But so it's kind of one of those I kind of just want to have a go on one first.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, and I have recently found, there is a group of people down near me. There is actually a Google Plus community. Woo! We like Google Plus communities. Of Dorset multirotors, and they're flying as a little group over on Camford Heath. And so I'm going to pop up there at some point, go and have a chat, and just introduce myself. I actually know one of the guys is actually a neighbour, not a few.
Yeah, I see. It's good you know the people there.
Yeah, so I'm kind of going to go and have a look. I'll go and take the T-Rex with me and go and have a fly with them and have a chat and just sort of kind of get a bit of local kind of knowledge on what they're using and stuff. So I am at some point going to do it, but I'm just not quite sure when yet. And it's obviously because the goggles the model itself isn't too much money. The goggles are always the tricky bit. So not yet, no. Anybody else getting in there?
Yeah, for my part, I always thought about it. I've seen some videos and quad racing and especially the FPV thing, but unfortunately I had to decide either a 600 size helicopter or some FPV quad equipment. And yeah, the heli just was more important to me because it's a heli.
It's more important to her.
I would not say that I don't like the idea, but it's not that cheap at all. Especially the full FPV equipment with the glasses and the cameras and gimbals and stuff. In addition to the quad, it's just much
For the racing,
much money.
You don't need the gimbals. For the racing, you don't need the gimbals, and you don't need to worry about. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Lee. But my impression is that you don't need a high quality camera. You don't need HD goggles because the bandwidth available on the frequencies we're allowed to use isn't big enough to take HD at the moment, and also it's just not needed apparently. And you don't need a gimbal because it's a small. It's designed for racing, not for taking pictures. So all that stabilization rubbish that you have with that sort of things isn't required either. Correct, Lee?
Yeah. I mean, you can set yourself up pretty cheaply with FPV gear if you just want to have a go and you don't want to fork out too much money just to see if you like it. I mean, you can get a receiver and transmitter, for like $50 and just get an LCD screen, cheap LCD screen and then a cheap camera to go on the quad. The quad's going to cost you, a mini quad costs you about £100 for everything. So I'd say less than £200 you'd be set up.
Okay, it looks like I'm looking in the wrong spots.
Lee, could you do us a favour? If you go to the event page for this hangout, could you just go and throw some links down to say a quad camera, just the bits you just mentioned, so the LCD transmitter receiver, just some rough idea of what to be expecting to pay for and where to get them from.
Okay.
Just
Where's the event bit?
just when you have a moment. Don't worry now. Just sort of have a look later.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No immediate rush.
But if you check on our RC Hangouts forum, we've got all the builds going on there. I think just about everybody on the forum now is building one. And like Graham, who's been asking questions, he's building one. He's just got a set of Predator goggles and a full setup. I think the goggles with the transmitter and everything was less than 200 quid. But yeah, so if anyone wants to check it out, come and say hello. I notice you haven't been on there yet.
I haven't had time.
Come on, join up.
Yeah. So, what was what's the URL for the website?
It's RC hangout.com. Yeah.
Okay. RC-hangout.com. Cool. Yeah. I shall endeavour to find 30 seconds to go and sign up. Can I sign in with my Google account, or do I have to give you my email address and all that sort of stuff?
Don't know.
I like Google sign-ins. It just means I can just...
You've got Google written through you like a stick of rock, haven't you?
I do, yeah.
Right, before we go on to Bob, I've noticed Bob's come in. Hello, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Hello there.
Hello. Yep, we'll come to you in a second. I just want to give a quick big up to Phil Buckley, Bookers of Cano FX. Some of you might know that I posted before that he'd done a canopy for my 630, and he's now done another one for my Goblin 700. Ta-da! Heliporn! Yeah, just a quick shout out for Phil. The work he does is absolutely second to none. I mean, if you look at the original Cano Mod canopy and then you compare it to one of Phil's, the quality is miles better. It's tenfold better, and the prices are very reasonable as well. To spray, I mean, I must admit, I supplied my own canopy for this one because it's a competition. You can't get blank canopies for competitions yet. You won't sell them. So I supplied my own canopy, and it actually cost less to have it sprayed by Phil than it would have been to buy the parts new off Goblin. So yeah, if anyone's after canopy being done, your own design or a copy of a design, www.cano-fx.co.uk. Ask for Phil, say I sent you. And hopefully he'll give me some brownie points.
Very pretty. It's
Yeah.
Very, very pretty.
And hopefully he'll give me some brownie points and some discount off my next one.
There's always an angle with you, isn't there? You're always after that freebie.
Well, that'll be going the same colour soon as well. I've actually ordered another canopy and boom for this, so when that arrives, that'll be going to Phil to be painted as well.
Nice.
So, anyway, Mr. Watson, Mr. Bob Watson, who are you? What do you fly? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
We can't hear you, Bob. I think you're muted. Right.
Nope.
No, he's just muted himself. And right, Bob, if you would just want to go and rejoin the Hangout and try again, just make sure all your connectors are all plugged in the right place. I know we had it working the other day, didn't we? So there can't be too much going on there. You just want to rejoin and come back in a minute. Right, come back. Right.
Yeah. Right, we'll come back to him.
In that case, let's go and take some questions. James Hounslow is asking, has he missed the accuracy next discussion? Yes, you have.
Yes. Sorry.
Just rewind and go and watch it from the beginning. You should have been here from the start anyway.
Yeah. There is more.
He lives up the road from me, well, half an hour. I must go and see him again actually at some point.
Yeah, he was one of our first guests as well, James, was his?
He was, yeah. He was
a really nice guy.
If I remember correctly, he was a bit of a motor king, wasn't he? He was,
yes, motor
rewinding his motors.
Yes, I keep meaning to send him one to be done, but I keep forgetting. I mean, I'm super scatterbrained at times.
Yeah, I kind of haven't been in a position to kind of leave one doing. No, because obviously the X5 has got the X-Nova motor, which is just freaking awesome.
Yes.
And I kind of haven't quite. I haven't decided if I want more power on the 500, and I don't. It's got enough. I don't.
Well, you've
I'm
got
not,
the new Dominator motor in that, haven't you?
yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
a,
I think they are actually overmotored with these Dominator motors. Because I know my 700 with the 850 Dominator was overmotored. So,
I don't think
which
it's not.
it's never
It's not
never
got.
a bad thing.
No, it's
No.
not. It's definitely not got as much power as the X5 with the X-Nova motor, but it's certainly got plenty. There's no shortage of beans. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not a whole factory of Heinz, but it's certainly. It's got enough to
Yes.
to make you.
Heinz 55, not Heinz 57.
Um,
What
but
motors
yeah,
do you run, Patrick? In yours, are they just the stock blade ones?
Yeah, I just use the stock E-Flight
Yes.
motors, which is a 500 kV in the 600, I guess, and the 550 has a 1160 or 1130
Yeah.
kV, somewhat like that. But they just work fine. I've never
Yeah.
had a problem with them.
So you've never really even thought about upgrading the motors. They've just worked for what you want, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, at the moment they are more than enough. One thing I realized is that in the 600X manual, the plate on which the motor is locked is in the wrong direction, obviously, and so the motor stands a little bit too high and scratches on the canopy and there get lots of dust from it, and that dust was how to say that in English? The dust was pulled into the motor
Yes.
and layered on the wires, and by time the motor got hotter and hotter and hotter until it burned.
Oh,
But in my opinion, that's not a problem of the motor, it's just a problem of the position and the dust
yeah,
getting scratched from the canopy. So
yeah.
that's not a motor issue. That's a proximity to other things getting in the way issue.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know myself with the goblins. If you haven't quite got the canopy on perfect, that will leave a nasty, horrible mark on your nice shiny Scorpion motor. Rubbing the gold off.
That's why the E-Flight motors are just great.
No, there is definitely merit in that. It's like in these X Novas now that I'm getting into these X Novas. I would imagine that'll leave a nice, horrible silver mark on a nice red motor. So, what motors are you running, Lee? Are you just running?
We've got the Scorpion
standard?
4025 in the 570. I've got the stock compass motor in the Warp, but I was going to say I think the next upgrade I'll do on that, I'd like to try one of the X Nova motors in the Warp.
Yep, cool. What about yourself, Bob? Are you running just standard motors, or are you on the path to upgrade heaven? Like the rest of us? Okay, you need to unmute yourself, Bob.
He's not there.
Is he not?
No, Phil. Are you trying to talk
Oh,
to Phil?
sorry, Phil. Sorry, yeah, Phil. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, you'll get there in the end, Kev.
Oh, AP moment there.
Yeah.
Solly's
Don't,
career. Sorry, Phil.
don't worry, you'll be buying the bear in Germany.
Oh no, yeah.
If you ever make it there in that dodgy car of yours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah,
No,
just running stock
Fine
motors and that on the Goblin, and so like just the OS 50s and that on the 600s. There's nothing too
Cool.
drastic.
Yeah.
That's more than adequate for my type of flying at the moment.
Cool.
I've just seen some news.
Ooh, news. We like news.
The Kev and Patrick will like this.
Oh, news is always good.
We love news.
The 1.5 beta.
Oh yes. Hang on. I'll assume
It's
it is on.
it's getting closer. It's getting closer. FYI, the accuracy 1.5 beta for those beta testers out there is quickly approaching, which means shouldn't be that far away from release to the game product. Assuming
No,
us
I
beta
think
testers don't find anything majorly wrong with it.
what's the usual rollout time? It's about 4 weeks. The beta testers get it, and it's about 4 weeks.
I don't know. I don't think there's an official kind of rollout time.
Yeah, it's
depending
roundabout.
on what they find, what issues they have. But the reason this beta has been a bit longer than ones in the past is because they're trying to get it to a point. The conversation I had with Ash the other day is that there's no point rolling out a beta to us with known issues to then have beta testers report those known issues and then have to have the conversation with those beta testers about those known issues.
Yes.
So they're getting the known issues fixed first and then putting it out to us with no known issues, in theory. And so then that should hopefully mean that the time from it going to beta to when it being released should be less. That's the theory.
Yeah, I totally see that point because it's not relevant to show a beta to the testers if you already know the flaws in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So it should be some kind of almost ready version to the beta testers that they find the hidden things.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's hopefully the position that we're going to be in. So I was just checking my notifications to make sure I hadn't missed out on any work calls because I'm on call today, by the way. I was supposed to be working. Not working, but I'm supposed to be ready for work at the drop of a hat. So
coiled like a spring.
Coiled like a spring, yeah.
Ready to explode.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we right. Bob's back.
Yes. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Yes, it works.
Tremendous.
Excellent.
Hey, let me ask you guys. Now that we're talking about accuracy here, on these simulators here, is it really that much of a difference on accuracy versus a Phoenix to where you should go out and make that swap between the Phoenix and the accuracy now that you guys have had the opportunity to use it?
Right, I'm going to go first here and say it's not quite a simple yes/no answer. As much as I'd love it to be a yes/no answer, it's not quite a yes/no answer. Because the trouble is that, yes, the simulator, as a simulator, as in a tool for learning to fly helicopters, it is freaking awesome. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that touches it on physics. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, that side of things, in terms of actually flying, learning to fly on a as most realistic model as possible, with the current technology we've got available to us, yes, it is the best simulator out there. However, it is lacking a couple of features at the moment. And for some people, they're quite big features, which I can understand. It's just one of those things. And fixed wing, because even if you're a helicopter pilot, you do find yourself playing on the simulator sometimes, because it's not just, I don't know about you, but I use the simulator not just for learning to fly, but also just to have a bit of fun. Just like when I go to the field, I go and fly my helicopter to have fun. I don't go there to go out and learn a certain maneuver all the time, because I'm past that now. I'm too old. But so it's lacking a bit of fixed wing, which is going to be fixed in 1.5. It's lacking a little bit on the numbers of models. So if you have a specific version of the T-Rex 500 or name a model, guys. That's not
Goblin 570.
Blade 600X.
Or you fly some completely obscure model like the Blade 600X.
Yeah. Raptor 700. Just stuff like that, yeah.
So if you yes, there are a few kind of models that are definitely missing, But if you can, but the trouble is that most models fly like the flybarless system. There isn't. If you take a model with a vortex on it and fly it on a similar size model with the same blades, same servos, and same motor, and and just a different airframe, then there's not going to be an awful lot in the way they fly difference, is there? Do you think? Am I right there, guys? Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think nowadays the airframe is just something pretty that spins the blade round. You're actually flying the flybarless unit nowadays.
Yeah. Back in
the day when you had flybarless heads and different geometries and linkages and programmable heads and rigid core heads on the Vance and stuff like that, they all flew differently. But now you just fly the flybarless unit, pretty much. It's just something pretty to spin blades around.
Yeah, definitely. And so, but the accuracy flybarless unit, the one that's modelled in the simulator, is more tunable than most flybarless units. So you can make, you should, with a bit, if you spend a bit of time and you're willing to spend the time on it, you can make your your model on the simulator fly like your flybarless unit.
Mm-hmm.
It just might look a bit different because it's not Blade 600. You're flying a Synergy or a T-Rex or a Logo or something instead. But if you spend a little bit of time on it, you can make it fly like your model.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing, which is going to be a little bit further away, is the multiplayer. And I must admit, I still do it occasionally, very, very occasionally, but not for very long because it annoys the crap out of me. I do plug the Phoenix dongle in occasionally and go and do a bit of online.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes about 5 to 10 minutes of flying it before I just can't fly it anymore because it just annoys the crap out of me because I just find I'm so used to flying, so used to the holes, knowing, I've found all the holes in the physics that are there, and I'm like, within sort of 30 seconds, like, oh god, that's there, isn't it? Oh, and it does that too. Oh, why is it doing 500,000 miles an hour in a flat circle and it only does 30 miles an hour falling straight down? It's like, why is it doing that? So, if you can deal, so that was the long answer. The short answer is yes, it is better. It flies better. As a simulator for tuning on, it is better. However, it's missing a couple of features. If you can deal without those features and you want something to learn to fly on, accuracy is more than mandatory job.
Yeah, that was my thought process on that too. And if I understand it correctly, having watched a few things on there, you are able to understand about setting up the model a little bit more. You're able to get involved in pitch curves and things like that, which really is going to help you understand as you set your own helicopters up how that works and all of those things. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, yes. As a tool for learning helis in general, I think accuracy is probably the best thing out there. Like you say, you've got a fully programmable flybarless unit, which is done by Colin Miller CSM. It is a proper flybarless unit. If you put that onto a microchip, it would work. It's a proper flybarless unit. The servos are proper servos, and it's essentially a proper helicopter, but in virtual reality. I think where it hasn't quite got the popularity at the minute is because when a lot of people want a simulator, they just want to plug in and go. They don't want to have to do what they've done on their real model, which they don't mind doing on the real model because that's what you have to do. It's part and parcel of it. But when they fire up the simulator, they just want to practice. They just want to turn on and practice, which is where Phoenix Real Flight Next come into their own. Again, you've got the multiplayer, you can go online and fly with your friends. Unfortunately, you can't do that yet with accuracy. Mean for me personally, I'm not that bothered. I like accuracy for what it is, but I also like real flight for what it is. I like Phoenix for what it is, and I like Next for what they are. I mean, I've only got accuracy at the minute, but I've flown them and they all fly reasonable, don't get me wrong, and you can learn on all of them. But as a complete package for learning helicopters in total, I think accuracy is the one. Accuracy is what you want. It's not quite there yet, like you said, Abe, but it's getting there. There's only so much they can do at a
Right.
time, and as they change the code and modify the code and improve the code to accept all the features and everything, it'll all get incorporated into it. But until they do that, we just have to deal with these little shortcomings. But at the minute, it is still, to my mind, the best simulator out there.
Do you guys fly with a 40-inch or 50-inch big screen TV with it?
Yes, I actually now looking at the TV that I use, which is I think it's a 48-inch LG flat screen job. So I just use it on that.
I think that kind of goes with any simulator really. If you're going to fly any simulator on a 20-inch or a 16-inch laptop, then it's going to be a bit weird.
Right.
Right. You need to plug it into something a bit bigger. And accuracy does. One of the things I do that I think actually stands out on in a big way is the ability to plug your laptop into any TV, which you can do on any simulator. However, you're limited on most of them. You're limited to the length of the lead. On accuracy, because you've got the ability to plug in a Spectrum satellite or a Futaba S-Bus receiver or one of the clones thereof, you don't have to spend 60 quid on an S-Bus receiver. There are other options which are cheaper, and so that means that you can then fly wire free. So you're not stuck within 1.5 meters of your laptop. You can stand back a bit further, plug your laptop into your big TV over HDMI, and go and fly.
Right.
So I've got a big. I'm same as Kev. I've got a big screen monitor anyway, which I use on the computer. It's a 32. So yeah, I don't have that issue to start with. But it is nice to be able to plug the laptop in and fly it on your big TV wirelessly. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the Dallas area, Dallas, Texas area, and that's kind of the hotbed for helicopters in our area. And I'm flying all KDS product except for the Blade 130 CFX, which I'm really enjoying, and really enjoy the KDS product. And I guess one of the great things about what they're doing is their team pilots and their willingness to help. And what you get when you go to some of the fun flies, you have those guys there who are willing to help people like myself get better at this at this hobby, because I truly want to get better and truly get to a point to where I can do some serious 3D.
Yeah, no, it's you definitely need. I mean, we had a guy on the last show actually that kind of always flew on his own, and what was his name, Kev? I can't remember his name now. Sorry.
Simon Hildrew.
Simon Hildrew. Yeah,
right.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Simon. I'm terrible with names.
It's embedded in my head.
And he flies on his own and refuses to go to a club, and then wonders why his flying is sort of stagnated. And you have to fly with people. If you can fly with people of a similar skill level, you will bounce off each other and you will learn things off each other. It is, you need that. You need to. When you're learning, I believe personally, in my experience, based on my experience, that you need two things. You need that more experienced pilot, that help guide you through those stupid things that you have to learn at some point down the line, and just stop you worrying about some of those things. I mean, I remember the first time I encountered flying through my own downwash. I landed the model immediately because it dropped about a foot suddenly, which is what happens when you fly through your own downwash. But I thought there was something wrong with the model, so I landed immediately and checked it over because I thought there was some. Whereas if I had somebody around that knew about flying through your own downwash, they would have gone, no, that's just flying through your own downwash, and that's what happens when you do this, that, and the other. And so you need that more experienced pilot, but then also you need somebody of your sort of similar skill level to bounce off of or to compete with almost. Even if it's a friendly competition.
Right. And that's one of the nice things. We'll have some major fun flies in the area there, and if you're having some issues or you need something or you're looking for some tune-ups or something like that, these guys are always willing to jump in there and give you a hand and to help out and to actually do whatever it takes to get the model in the air and get it going, and they're willing to test fly it, and that's very nice. So that's good. But now you guys had a person on here on one of the previous shows, that was actually, I guess for the lack of a better word, a tutor for flying. Do you remember that guy?
Dave Fisher.
Dave Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah. Do people like that over in the UK? Do they exist? And can you tap those guys where you actually pay them whatever amount and you walk out to the field?
There is a number of flying schools in the UK, and I believe there's a number of flying schools in the USA. Although I think they're a bit more spread out, obviously because it's a big country.
Yeah.
But there are, if you.
In the UK, there is Dave Fisher. There's a couple of guys I can't think the names up north.
There's a guy near Marlborough where I come from. Can't remember his name, but he's got a school there.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one I'm thinking of, and I can't think of his bloody name.
I should know. Because I've been there. Daniel.
Paul Heckles.
Paul Heckles. Yes, thank you.
Paul Heckles.
Hey, I'll tell you something. Paul Heckles is one hell of a flipping pilot. He can fly anything.
He's been around since the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So if I understand it correctly, and this is maybe some folks that we need to start searching for. So if I understand correctly, you're going to go out there and he's going to take you through the steps and I guess see where you're at, and then he's going to assist you in being able to take you to the next level. And he even said that he takes people up to a competition level.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
You got Todd Bennett over in the States. He's the guy who's the most famous guy over there.
He's West Coast, isn't he?
I think he travels around. He goes all over the place.
Who's this guy?
Todd Bennett. He does teaching seminars in various clubs. I don't know how he gets booked, but I think he travels all around the States doing these seminars.
Yeah. Did you say his name was Todd?
Todd Bennett.
Bennett, okay. And I know that at IRCHA, they're planning sometime this year with Nick Maxwell. I think they're doing a clinic at IRCHA with Nick Maxwell.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, they've had one a few times with Nick. They had something when Nick came over here and did the RC Heli flying as well. But yeah, Nick's a really good guy and a really good teacher from what I can tell as well. And didn't Curtis used to do teaching as well?
Yeah, I don't think he does.
I don't think he does it now.
He's Texas.
He's Houston. Yeah. But I don't. Yeah. I don't think he does it anymore, but I'm pretty sure he used to. Pretty sure he used to.
We've had a flurry of questions coming in on the Q&A, so I'm going to take a few of these now. Tony James says there's a couple of us flying at the field. I get egged on by them trying something new that would not try on my own. Yep, that's a very valid point.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like my club. You just get egged into crashing.
Yeah.
I would not say act, but everybody does it, and you don't do it. So you have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Otherwise, you just get the mic taken out of you.
Right.
Just a quick one to add about Simon. One of his friends, Darren's just been on. Simon didn't refuse to go to a club. He doesn't drive, so he couldn't get to a club.
Ah, yes. Sorry.
Our apologies. We got
Sorry,
confused.
Simon. Yeah.
Sorry, Simon. We got confused.
I've slept and drunk beer since then, so I kind of forgot. Sorry about
Yes.
that. Graham Laurie has been incredibly busy on the Q&A today. I think he's a bit frustrated because his microphone's broken. I think I saw one of the questions say.
I just got him into trouble
Oh, did you?
with his wife.
What was the single most thing that increased your transition from normal flying to 3D? Kev.
Transition from normal to 3D. I mean, define normal flying. I mean, where does it go from the sport flying to 3D?
That is a tricky question.
Yeah.
And one we should not be dealing with today. Answer the question.
Right, no,
Flying inverted.
Yeah, I was just gonna say flips and going inverted. Because obviously, normal flying is you're flying the right way up, forwards and backwards and sideways and stuff.
I think we'll say sport flying. Normal sport flying is loops, rolls, and stall
right,
flips.
right. So going on from that into 3D, I'd probably say that the first thing you want to be doing is TikToks. It's a nice, easy-ish maneuver. I won't say it's a doddle because there's quite a lot of timing, but TikTok is probably one of the first things into it, and then you've got your funnels and your hurricanes and stuff like that. But I think the thing that opens up the whole envelope, it opens up everything 3D is pedal flips. Learning to steer. Yeah, I think that's the one.
I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to put my thing in last on this one.
Right. Well,
Lee, what do you say? What was your gateway to 3D?
Well,
not crashing.
To full on 3D, I'm not sure.
What gave you the confidence to be able to go from doing loops, rolls, and stall turns into?
Well, as I was just saying, I think sustained inverted flight and being able to recover from any scenario. So no matter what happens to your model, you can always pop it back into a safe flight. So that then after that I wasn't so scared of trying new stuff because I always knew that I could take it higher, try something, and then if it goes wrong, I can, no matter where it is, I can pop it straight back into a level flight. So that's probably what your helicopter's crashing without you even flying it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a turn up for the books.
And I think I'm gonna. That is the money answer. I think is the ability to recover from any orientation.
Yeah.
And I say this a lot in the. I mean, Kev mentioned TikToks. There's a whole bunch. I've done a whole bunch of training videos on using accuracy with a bit of voiceover and a bit of explanation and the sticks on the screen and everything like that. So if you haven't seen any of those, there's a whole bunch of those that I've been doing over the last 8 months or so, which is worth a look at if you haven't seen them already, including TikToks and loops and circles and and how to do a really nice coordinated turn and all these sort of little bits and pieces that can really help to sort of bring it all together. And before I go any further, because I know I shall get off on one, Patrick, what's your opinion on this?
I totally go with Lee, first place. So the ability to get the heli back, no matter what state it is in, was just a big step. And the actual trigger for going to 3D was actually my brother, who said, "Patrick, go and fly up as high as you can." And I said, "Okay, no matter what." And then he said, "Just pull the nick back until the tail is directed to the ground, and then just let it fall, tail forwards to the ground, and recover it as late as anyhow possible."
Tail slides.
Yeah, tail slides, very fun.
That was my first unwanted tail slide, and then from then on, I just knew that no matter how fast the kid came down, I can always pull it back somehow, somewhere safe. And then he said, okay, then fly high, and then stay inverted, and then fly with tail first, a circle. That's when it all started. Then he said, now fly the circle, and now just kick in some tail, and flip the heli around while doing this.
See, that's good information there. I mean, those are the kind of things that we need to know because, at least in our area, there are tons of guys who have a great desire to be able to go from sport flying, and when I say sport flying, I'm just talking about circuits, figure eights, fast right turn, left turn, some backwards flying, maybe a little bit of inverted stuff. But those are the kind of things right there that's, if you had somebody next to you, could certainly walk you through that process of getting, less afraid of that and to kind of what to expect from the model when it starts falling and, starting to recover things like that. That's good information.
Yeah, to me that was very important, and it didn't stay with the tail slide. Then the next time I didn't try it with tail first, so I just laid it on the side and fell down that way, and just tried in different directions recovering it. No matter if you recover it inverted or in normal, but just getting it out of the position and then some kind of 45 degree to the ground, and so it just builds up that way. But then you know how you can take it back if something bad happens in the air.
Right.
And I'm just going to say a quick hi to Daniel. Sorry we haven't come to you quicker. I will come to you in just a second. I'm on the way. I just want to say one more thing on this subject before we move on to you. And that's what Patrick was saying there. It's very, very valid, I think, because when you're learning a maneuver, so if you're learning to do funnels or something like that, you almost pre-plan an escape route. So how are you going to get the model level and the right way up from where it is? If it starts going a little bit wrong, how are you going to get it back? So, for instance, if you were going to do tail down upright funnel, if you wanted to get it out of that situation, you push the nose down to get it level. Or if you're doing a forward circle to the left, so you're doing a left-hand turn, if it starts going a bit funny, you push a bag load of right aileron in to get it back the right way up again. So sort of pre-planning kind of escape routes is definitely something that's worth doing.
Nice, good.
I remember
altitude back to orientation as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's so many people out there who they just get the tail in, they get side in, and then that's it. They go for it, and they're going right for loops, right up to pyro flips, and they still haven't got all their orientations right. So you get into a trouble, and your nose in or your inverted tail in or whatever it is, and you haven't practiced your orientations. You're always going to get into trouble.
Yeah, I know a couple of people like that. But one thing you need to remember: altitude's your friend. If it's going tits up, go up in the sky. Worry about it later. Just send it up. Yeah, if it's going wrong, send it up.
Daniel, I'm terribly sorry it took so long to get to you. We've kind of got a bit carried away this evening. How are you doing, matey? I got a message from you earlier on saying you weren't going to be coming on. You weren't going to make it tonight.
I just come to say hello. That's it. I cannot make it today. For me, because I didn't start the 3D yet, this is the plan for this year. I spent around 50 hours in simulator, and I learned the most important things. It's auto rotation, because every time when you lose something, you need to recover the halo. That's it.
And that's another extremely valid point as well. It's less of an issue these days with electric, because you're less likely to end up with an engine quit.
Anything the connection can be lost or something like this for vibration or vibration or something like this. And from the other side, you need to know how to rebuild your helicopter, because they will be crashed.
Yeah, people crash all the time. If you're not crashing, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
the,
it, guys. I just come to say hello and I'm going to sleep. But yeah.
thank you for popping on and saying hi. Greatly
Okay.
appreciate. We'll
Take
see you
care.
next time.
Cheers, man. Yeah,
Good night.
definitely. See you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
See you.
I think Daniel raises a good point there. Is you need to not be scared of crashing. If you're scared of crashing and what it entails and the dent that it's going to make in your wallet, you're not going to progress. For myself, I didn't really have anyone to teach me in the beginning or help me, and it took me about a year and a half to get hovering sort of nailed. Mainly because I was just worrying about crash costs and crashing. I didn't want to crash, and as soon as I sod that, I don't care anymore. Your flying just progresses on, and it just doesn't bother me anymore. I mean, the lads at the club will tell you. At weekend, I did that to my 700, and all I could do was laugh. I know, there it is. All I could do was laugh at it. So it just doesn't bother me anymore. It's only money. I've got none. A bit less won't harm. So
I think that is one thing that Align have definitely done for the sport. As much as we all love to hate on Align, and this 500 up here has been one hell of a humbling experience for me, because I was if you look at me 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I was in flying a lot and really living the sport, I could not stand Aligns because I hated the way they flew, because the rotor heads because the flybar bit just didn't work properly as far as for my personal taste. And a lot of people got on with them. I just didn't like it. Didn't like the way it felt. Didn't like the way it tracked. Just felt wrong. But of course now these days, because as we were saying earlier on, it flies like the flybar this unit, and it is just basically gearbox. And you've got to handle it to them. It does work. It does do the job. And they are dirt cheap, really. 500 quid. Add receiver, add battery, and fly.
Yep. I can't.
Really, can you? I remember it. Sort of back in the day of Raptor 30s, and they'd spend 400 quid on it, and it would be an absolute shed. Because it would have a rate gyro and a 3001 on the tail and 3001s on the cyclics and the collective pitch, and it would be absolutely horrible. Or even worse, they turn up with a Century Hawk Sport. Oh, I mustn't talk about those because I might get shot. Oops.
There's actually a Century Hawk Sport at our club. He's just taking out his Airwolf body and flying it around as a pod and boom again.
Just horrible thing.
Yes, it looks crap.
It's crap, and they just make the most god awful din as well, don't they?
Yes, it does. It is horrible. It hurts my brain.
The wire drive tail, which is all springy and horrible, and the cyclic and collective mechanism is just evilly horrible.
Wire drive tails. Do you remember the Kyosho Nexus? If you did hard stop it, it'd spin the wire up.
I never had a Nexus, but I had a Concept 30 SRX that had the wire drive tail, which I changed for the carbon tube, and that was like night and day. It was like, wow, this looks like the tail actually does something now. Amazing.
Yeah, I remember doing Pyros with Nexus just spinning around and just stopped, and I just heard the wire go boing, and the heli went boing, spinning uncontrollably. Oh shit! There we go, splat.
Oh god, they were the days, weren't they? And I think that is something that is really cool these days. It's very very difficult to buy a model that is rubbish.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there is such thing really as a bad heli on the market from the mainstream manufacturers. Obviously, you've got the clones that are a bit cack, just because the build quality is just rubbish. But anything from the mainstream is pretty good.
Thing is, they're marketed as clothes, so you know that they're clothes, so that you know that they're cheap copies, so you kind of almost know what you're getting with those. You know,
Yeah.
as a newbie walking into a shop 10 years ago, you wouldn't know how good the shop was, how good the advice was. I mean, so many of these models, these like 300 quid Hawk Sports and stuff like that, with rate gyros and cheap servos and an Irvine 39 or something that was just a bag of nails that vibrated the thing to pieces as well, just to finish it off, just to make sure it wasn't going to fly.
Was that the red top one or the gold one?
Red top.
Yeah.
Held the tune for about 30 seconds.
That was one. Held the tune till you took off.
Yeah. And then because it was a Hawk Sport, it vibrated itself to so much that the foam would the fuel would foam up, and then just to make sure for definite that the tune would change.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually very difficult to buy a rubbish model without knowing about it.
Kev, did I see behind you the Goblin 380?
You do indeed.
And is it in the air?
Yes, it's been flying. Like I said in the beginning of the show, it's all right, but it's not gobbling all right at the minute. So I'm just having a few issues with it, trying to get it dialed in. But I'm getting there, making headway with it.
Let me ask you. We spoke to one of the major heli retailers here, and I guess it's going for about $399 for the basic kit there. To kit that out, to put it in the air, it's going to cost you what, about $900 to $1,000 to put it in the air?
Trying to think now.
About 1.6.
Yeah.
Two-thirds
So
of that.
that would be about 600 quid. No, it's more than that. Trying to work it now. Kit 300, motor 110, speed controller 70, servos say 110, flybarless thick end of 200. Well, I bet it's about 900 to 1,000 quid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of money for the size of model it is.
Yes, definitely. I mean, if you want a 6S 450 and you're on a budget, go to T-Rex.
Yeah.
T-Rex.
Warp 360.
What?
There's no Compass presence over here in the UK at all.
There's no
Well,
what?
there is. There's no Compass presence in the UK at all now. Well, there is.
Alright.
I think it's Western models, but it's kind of don't even bother.
The Chase, the KDS Chase 360, I think the full kit that comes with everything except a battery and a receiver, I think retails in for $599, and I've seen that fly, up close and in person with some of the KDS pilots, and boy, that thing is amazing. So, they're probably not going to have any difficulty selling them, but that does get pricey with that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's with the KDS, it's the same as Compass. There's absolutely no support really over it. There is a dealer, TGRC. I think it's TGRC down south. No, that's Steel Blades. But no, there is a dealer down south that does do KDS. But as to the mainstream shops, nothing. Is that absolutely zero? I mean, for myself, when I go buy stuff, it's Skyline, Fast Lads, Midland Helicopters, or Raj Line T-Rex.
And that's all online?
Yeah, it's pretty much online, yeah, because there's nothing local, really. There's Revolution models, which is about an hour and a half drive away, something like that.
I think you've forgotten one.
Just go on.
Yeah. I think you've forgotten the local one.
Barnstormers.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Well, it is a local shop, but to be fair, buying stuff from there it is order. He just gets it into order. But if you want to just go and buy stuff online, it is the big four really. Skyline, Fast Lads, Midlands, Alliance T-Rex. They're, I would say they're the big four in the UK. And if they've not got it, to be honest, it's probably not worth buying because you're going to struggle for bits.
Right,
Really.
yeah, you're going to struggle for parts, and that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you want to crash it on a Sunday, order the part Sunday night and fix it again Tuesday.
Right.
So,
And that was one of the issues I had with the X5, because although the last time I crashed it, and it's still in that condition now, although I didn't want to, or I didn't have the money at that point to be able to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
I did put a parts list together of what I needed, and checked out the availability, and there was some pretty basic bits like main gears and stuff like that weren't available at that point, and it's just like, really? Okay, and it was just sort of one of the things that kind of made me look, one of the little contributing factors. There was nothing that made me not put the X5 back in one piece yet. But we've got, right, I'm just very conscious of the time now. It is we're gonna roll up. We're gonna finish at 11 UK time, which is 9 minutes from now. We've got another couple of questions on the Q&A, which are pretty applicable, I think, to the conversation we're having at the moment. Would you recommend something like the Icon, Brain, etc., with self-leveling for learning 3D?
Yes. Yes. I've recently helped set up a Helicommand HC3SX, is it? I think it's one with the self-level.
Yeah,
It's
from
amazing.
Bavarian.
Yeah, Bavarian. It's amazing. You just stick it wherever you want, and it just pretend it's going pear-shaped. Go flick. Oh, there we go. It just, no matter which way up it is, it'll always go the right way up and go straight up. Love it.
Yeah,
it is a fantastic bit of kit. The only problem is actually taking yourself away from the panic, the trying to wrestle it to the ground sort of mentality to go, oh, I'm going wrong, flick. For myself, I'll just try and wrestle it into the ground, and 9 times out of 10 it just ends up in a big hole. But the panic, the flybarless systems that are out there now with that fail-safe on it, where you can just, like I say, flick the button. That is definitely something to look into whenever you're considering a flybarless system for your helicopter. Correct? It's something to consider, but it's not necessary. You know, it's a good safety net. If you're cost conscious and it's going to help your confidence, shall we say, it's something to look at, but it isn't essential. But definitely, it is a good thing. It does work, but again, you have to change your mindset, because if you've been flying normal flybarless systems, the chances are you'll probably try and wrestle it all the way to the ground. You're wrestling with it to try and get it the right way up and get the orientation right and everything. You've then got to change your mindset from doing that to going, oh, it's going wrong, flick. I think there could be difficulty in that transition.
To me, a big problem is realize that on the simulator, where we also have the saving function, which brings you up again. To me, it's I recognize it too late. I fly, and I try to save it. I try to save it, and now I flick, but now it's too late.
Yeah.
So that's the point you have to realize when you're doing that in real time with a real helicopter.
Yeah. I mean, accuracy, as you say, accuracy does have the bailout feature.
I think they all have it now, actually. I think they've all got it now.
Okay. Phoenix?
Yeah, Phoenix has got it, definitely. Okay. Only on certain models on Phoenix. Yeah. Okay. Horizon ones.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
No idea.
Yeah. So I think having done a fair bit of training on buddy lead with people over the years, I very quickly, when I was doing training, noticed that people would get very reliant on me saving it for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be on the end of the buddy lead, and you'd be sat there going, "Yep, they're fine, they're fine, they're fine, they're fine. There's nothing. The model's not doing anything ridiculously stupid. It's not losing a lot of height or anything like that." And they go, "I don't have it. Take it." And I'm like, "It's not crashing." Yeah, but I don't know which way it's going. I'm having this conversation with them in real time.
Yeah.
It's not crashing.
No, I
Work
must
out
admit,
which way it's going and get orientation back on it again. Don't, because the thing is, it's very easy to rely too much on this sort of stuff to get yourself out of trouble. And the trouble is, if you don't try to get yourself out of trouble in the first place, if you just give up and flick the switch, or ask the guy on the end of the buddy lead to take it for you, you're not going to learn how to recover the model if something does go wrong and the bailout system doesn't work, which does happen. There are reports where the bailout bit hasn't been calibrated right, or hasn't been set up, in a long time. And there's stuff that can go wrong with them. So it's not something that you should rely on. It should be a last resort, I think. What do you reckon, guys?
yes, I would say so. I mean, I do quite a bit of buddying at our club as well, and I'm like yourself, Ed. I just let it get until like the last possible point for me to get it before it does hit the deck. Before I do, it instills a bit of panic in them, but I think it's funny.
It's you need to allow, and the trouble is, as a trainer, as somebody on the end of a buddy league, you can make that conscious decision of, no, you are going to get this model out of trouble yourself. It's not in any immediate amount of danger. It's not losing a lot of height. You've just lost orientation on it. Regain orientation on it. Put a bit of right stick in. You'll see the tail come back towards yourself. Get it level. Work it out. Get its back sorted. But the trouble is, as the guy, with these bailout systems, you're the guy with the switch. So you don't have someone stood next to you going, "No, don't be silly. You can catch this yourself."
Yeah.
Yeah. You're flicking your switch yourself, going, "I don't really know what to do here, so I'm going to flick the switch." So you kind of, yes, they are good, but you need to use them just like every other tool out there.
I think as well with Fibralis, with the bailouts, they need to be set up by a competent pilot rather than a beginner. Reason being, you need to be able to throw that helicopter into all sorts of situations and test it to make sure it works. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you just do follow the settings and you put your mixing in your radio and think, right, yeah, that's it, it's done. Yeah, that's all well and good. You need someone to go out and just test it and make sure it does it, but is also capable of recovering that model if the bailout's not working. If you understand me, so be able to go out and nearly crash it, press the button, see if it works. Nope, hasn't worked. Catch it.
So is there games that need to be set and
no, there's no games really to be set on the Bavarian Demon. I think there's about 5 mixes that you have to put in your show. It's quite complex to do it. It does all just work on 2 switches. You've got one switch for self-level, and you've got one switch for bailout. But it's the way it works. You have to do it through mixing.
That's one thing to mention. Is you just said bailout and self-level. They're 2 different things which some people get mixed up. Like the Bavarian Demon has the bailout, which will recover the helicopter and then increase the pitch to take it away from the ground. Whereas something like this, the Brain or the Icon, it just has self-level, so it will right the helicopter, but it doesn't change the pitch of the blades. So if you're in the wrong pitch, you're still going to drive it into the ground if you're low down. So
Yeah, very true.
There's bailout, which will recover your helicopter, and there's self-level, which will stabilize your helicopter. So there's two different.
Okay, cool. Right, guys, I think we're going to have to give it a wrap there. It's getting late. I've got work tomorrow. I know, Patrick, you've stayed on longer than you were going to originally.
Yeah, I got
So you get wrapped up in this, isn't it? Thank you very much for coming, everybody. We'll see you next month. There's more videos coming out. I know I've been a bit lax in the last week or so because I've been back to work, but I'm going to try and get. I've got a roles one, a roles tutorial coming, and I'm going to. I want to do an auto rotation one, but I'm just struggling because the simulator doesn't show the perspective very well. It's just one of those I might actually do in real life, but we'll see.
I was going to suggest that we do a real life one for that. I'll bring the camera now.
Okay.
Keep those coming, Aid, because they're very good, and I really appreciate them. So they're very helpful and instructful, and they go from simple to difficult, and it's great.
That's no problem at all. It's always a pleasure to keep.
There will also be some Goblins 380 videos coming soon. Build videos, flight videos. I might be wheeling out Helistig if I can get him away. If I can get him away from his girlfriend and his shiny new Audi. He's got a new Audi now, so he don't want to know us at the club anymore. So I'll have to just.
Is he scared about scratching it on the track on the way in or something?
No, he just cleans it every week, or every other day. Well, yeah. If you don't know who Helistig is, Helistig's Tom Owen. So I will wheel him out at one point.
Don't tell them that. You're not supposed to name the Stig.
Oh, he's all right. It's not Perry McCarthy anymore. But no, if I get a chance, I'll wheel him out and make him beat the crap out of the 380 for the video. I also intend to get pretty much everyone else at the club to fly it as well and give their thoughts.
Send it down here.
No, you're all right. I've seen your record with Goblins, Lee.
Only once.
True.
Right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. And,
Thank you.
We'll see you next month.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you.
See ya.
See you guys.
See you later.
Good night. Bye bye.